We, the senior study team, is here taking the initiative to start online classes for our students so that they can make the best use of their time. We'll be studying the first chapter of geography, that is resources and development. We have done this chapter earlier in 8th standard also. That time we discussed the definition of resources, that anything which is useful to human beings is a resource for them. For example, the air we breathe, the water that we drink are all the resources for the human beings. There are some resources which have been provided to us by the nature, and those resources are known as natural resources. For example, air, water, sunlight. These resources are available to humans by the nature. So these resources come under the category of natural resources. Other than those resources, there are some resources which have been developed by human beings for their convenience. These are the roads, railways, chairs, tables. Now let's have a broader outlook of the definition which is being given in your book. This definition says that everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs. This means जो resources हमारे environment में available हैं और हमारी needs को satisfy कर रहे हैं, all the things which helps us to satisfy our needs, our wants, are resources for us. Provided means that there are some exceptions to it, provided it is technologically accessible. Technologically accessible means that we should have proper technology to use these resources. अगर हमारे पास टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं होगी तो हाउ वी कैन यूज द थिंग्स विच आर अवेलेबल इन द इन्वायरमेंट फॉर आवर ओन यूज. द रिसोर्सेज शुड बी इकोनॉमिकली feasible also. Economically feasible means that it should be afforded by us. अगर हम उसको अफोर्ड कर पाएंगे तभी तो वो हम उसको यूज कर पाएंगे. सो द रिसोर्सेज शुड बी अफोर्डेड बाय द ह्यूमन बींग्स, देन ओनली दे कैन यूज दीज रिसोर्सेज. द लास्ट वन इज दैट द रिसोर्सेज शुड बी कल्चरली एक्सेप्टेबल. Culturally acceptable means we can use only those resources which has been accepted by our society. We can't use those things from the environment which are harming our society or which are not being accepted by the society. So a resource is the things that are available in the environment and which can satisfy our needs, but they should be technologically available also, economically feasible, that means economically we can afford those things also, and it should be accepted by our society also. There is a small diagram that is being given on the very first page of the chapter, that how human beings interact with the nature and with the help of technology and by constructing institutions, the human beings use these natural things and convert them into useful resources. We'll be discussing about the various types of resources which are available in our environment. These resources are classified on the basis of origin. These resources which have been classified on the basis of origin are biotic resources and abiotic resources. Biotic resources are those resources that we obtain from our biosphere and have life in them. These resources are humans, plants, animals. Basically, जिन resources की अपनी life होती है, those resources are known as biotic resources. Now, abiotic resources. Abiotic resources are those resources which are non-living. For example, rocks, minerals. The resources which do not have their own life are classified as abiotic resources. The next classification is on the basis of exhaustibility. Exhaustibility means that how much time or how many years it will take for the resources to get regenerated. On the basis of exhaustibility, the resources have been classified as renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are those resources which can be reproduced or replenished again in the nature. That means वो रिसोर्सेज जो दोबारा से रीजेनरेट हो सकते हैं, रिप्रोड्यूस हो सकते हैं, दोज रिसोर्सेज आर नोन एज रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, solar energy. You all know that solar energy is derived from sunlight, and since we have abundance of sunlight available in our country, so solar energy is classified as a renewable resource. Likewise, tidal energy, wind energy are also classified as a renewable resource. Now let's come to non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are those resources which takes millions of years to form. For example, fossil fuels. Fossil fuels includes coal, petroleum, natural gas, and all these resources takes millions of years, so they have been classified as a non-renewable resource. Next, we'll classify the resources on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership, the resources have been classified as individual resources, community-owned resources, national resources, and international resources. Now, individual resources. Individual resources are those resources which are self-owned resources. That means they have been owned privately by the human beings. For example, your own houses, your cars, your furniture, your land belongs to you people. So they come under the category of individual resources. Now, community owned resources. These are those resources which are accessible or available to all the members of the community. For example, we have public parks in our colony. Those parks are available to all the members of the society. So these parks are community owned resources. These are not owned by an individual. They are owned by the government and they are accessible to all the community members. Similarly, picnic spots, playgrounds and burial grounds, they are accessible or available to all the members of the community. So they have been classified under community owned resources. National resources. National resources are those resources which lie within the political boundaries of our country and they cover oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles. Now, what are nautical miles? Nautical miles are the unit which is used to measure the distances at sea. So basically, all the forest, wildlife and water resources that are within the political boundaries of a country are the national resources of our country. Now, international resources. International resources cover those oceanic resources that lie beyond 200 nautical miles. Earlier in national resources, we studied that national resources cover oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles. 12 nautical mile means 22.2 किलोमीटर के बाद जो resources हैं, those are national resources. But जो water resources 200 nautical miles के बाद हैं, those resources are international resources and the countries can use these international resources only after taking the permission of the International institutions. Now let's classify the resources on the status of their development. That means कि वो कितना डेवलप कर चुके हैं या कितना उनकी डेवलपमेंट होना रिसोर्सेज की बाकी है. On the status of development, resources have been classified as, first one is potential resources. Potential resources are those resources which are found in a region but have not been utilized. इसका मतलब है कि कुछ रिसोर्सेज हमारे इन्वायरमेंट में अवेलेबल तो हैं बट हम अभी उनको यूटिलाइज नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. द बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल फॉर सच काइंड ऑफ रिसोर्सेज आर, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू नो दैट राजस्थान हैज़ abundance of sunlight, but since Rajasthan is not a developed state, so they are not able to convert this sunlight into solar energy. So Rajasthan has the potential to make solar energy, but by far they have not been utilized such resources. Now, developed resources. Developed resources are those resources which are presently used in the society. For example, mobile phone. It is a developed resource for us. Now let's come to stock. Stock refers to all those materials available in the environment, but we do not have the technology to use them. That means हमारे पास मटेरियल तो environment में available है, but उस मटेरियल से रिसोर्स बनाने की टेक्नोलॉजी हमारे पास available नहीं है. We can take the example of water in this case. You all know that water is made up of two gases, that is hydrogen and oxygen. These two gases are rich source of energy, but the problem is that we do not have the adequate technology to use them properly. Thus, it is considered as a stock. Now let's come to reserves. Reserves are the subset of stock. Subset means they are the part of stock. But there is one major difference between stock and reserve. Reserves include those materials which are available in the environment, and we have the proper technology also to use those resources in converting the useful resources. But we are not utilizing them presently because we are preserving it for the future generation. We can take the example of rivers which can be utilized for generating hydroelectric power, but presently we are not utilizing such resources because we are preserving it for the future generation. So with this we are ending with our first session, and we'll be continuing it day after tomorrow. Thank you.